If you agree that the cost of running government or running for political office is quite expensive,
yes,
what would your recommendations be if you've had, as NIM, if you've looked at that issue,
yes,
looking at your 5 points, your 5 Ps and
yes,
your, is it 5 Ms too?
Yes.
If you have to come up with a recommendation,
Yes.
what would it be in terms of how much should be spent in elections?
We are going to use the last P, the process. If you want to reduce the cost of governance, the first thing to do is to reduce the cost of getting elected. That is where it starts from. We're going to cap how much you can spend. We're going to force electoral spending to be very transparent. Every donor should be known and why it should be known, and there should be a limit to how much you can spend. We would ask for access to media to be clearly stated and other expenses to be documented. The account of an electoral process should be audited and made public as soon as possible. Not a very long process. Put people there to do it.
But
and
Prof,
then you reduce remuneration.
Don't you think, what would you say to those who think, look, NIM is being too utopian,
too lofty?
Because they will tell you, look, the way it works here and being street smart is different from
all these
some of
things
these
we're
ideals.
saying.
This is very idealistic.
I know. NIM
But
is,
in practical terms,
how will it be?
Because, for instance, now, how would you deal with a situation wherein, I mean, we get to see those reports regularly.
Yes.
When you get to a particular local government area, or a particular area
Yes.
in the city or in a town or urban area or rural area, and you have, say, a traditional ruler who is lord in that area, has several PVCs in his account and has been doing some things for several years, has got the following, and he doesn't subscribe to NIM because he doesn't agree to some of these Ps, or the 5 Ps you highlighted.
Yes.
How is NIM going to support a new candidate who is going to supposed to come there and upstage such a person?
NIM is going to do it with spirit and action. NIM is going to use the same spirit Gambo had after graduating in geography and decided I want to be a journalist. And some people will think it's not possible. Then he realized all you need to do is study hard, understand what they want, and I can come from Zaria, from Abu, and then be a graduate student in Lagos and be a good journalist. That is a spirit, the same spirit in which you send your child. At this moment, NIM is like a parent. Nigeria is a child, not the horse to ride. You look at it and say, this is my baby, I want the best for this baby. To do that, I am going to study all the problems that can impede this greatness to happen. And then competence is what we need.
Then does NIM consider literacy level of the electorate a challenge?
Oh yes, absolutely. The literacy level of the citizenry is a challenge. We don't rank very high in that. So we need to put program. Actually, I'm very happy you said it, because one of the cardinal points of NIM is going to be seeing literacy as something to be eradicated in Nigeria.
All right, Prof, let me move away from that literacy level, because you already touched on it. But does NIM sometimes sit back and say, well, wait a minute, we hope we're not over-promising the people, because that may be tantamount to you underestimating the challenge of leadership and governance, because when you do get into the system, you may just be amazed at what you will find in terms of the challenge that you're facing, because of the enormity and the people that are around there. You have to work with all kinds of people.
Well, absolutely. You see, I think in public space, and indeed even in consumer service, over-promising or disappointing in delivery comes due to 2 things. One is when sheer dishonesty or incompetence. What NIM is putting in place to avoid those things is a very simple thing: transparency. We share the reality, we share the solution, and we put it in a very measurable way so that people can see as we go along. There is no big messiah, no big daddy somewhere promising, give me the power, fix it. We're going to sit down all together, look at it, and say, this is where we are, this is what we plan to do. What are the challenges? Is it feasible to do it? Whether they're programs, whether they're people that are going to, which NIM is going to support, most people in NIM, those who are affected by that possible candidate, that possible issue, we have a say on it.
Okay, now even if they come in and agree, subscribe to the principles or all the P's of NIM, how about how NAME intends to hold them accountable.
That is the big challenge. You see, that is where competence come in. There's a lot of people who say in this country that our biggest problem is corruption. Corruption is a huge problem. But you know what? Our biggest problem is competence. If you're leading a movement, my National Steering Committee is aware of this. If you're leading a movement, it is the burden of leadership to be a step ahead in ideas, to say, what are the possible challenges? So if we say we want to elect the right people, we want to erect the right policies, and we want to put in place the right process to make this thing work, it is part of our burden to understand that what if these people lie? What if they disappoint? What if they turn out to be mad people? You see, we don't say this in our politics, but you can elect somebody who suddenly becomes a mad person. What do you do? If you elect a governor or a senator who all of a sudden becomes eccentric or start doing some strange thing, good thinkers should have in place what they're going to do to deal with such situations. Legally, politically, and socially. Different ways. You name and shame, you blackmail, you pressurize, you push out, you expose. These systems are there. We just need to find them and follow them. Part of what this country needs is what I call the ANC. Nation builders who can come together and form an association of non-contenders. People who just want to put together the framework and say, regardless of who goes there, this is how you're going to operate.
Is that NIM? Association of non-contenders.
Those are a lot of us in NIM are like that. You see, because it's just unfortunate in Nigeria that we give so much power to politics. I travel across this country and I see billboard of governors. They do a little road and they put their big face on it. Most of them are not even good looking. This is a problem we need to get rid of. We need to understand that politics is just a job, it's a service. I'd rather be a rock star if I had my way. You know, I'd rather be a writer, an inventor. I'd rather do your job. You know, be real cool. We're rushing to be politicians. We need to have a system where this overriding invasive power of politics needs to be reduced. And everybody can get on with their life, aspire, plan, and build their life on content, commitment, capacity, and consistency.
I belong to the ANC. All right. Thank you, Professor Anthony Kila.
I belong to NIM, the third source.
Professor Anthony Kila is a member of the steering committee of NIM. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you for having me.
That's the show today. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm Chamberlain Usal.
Thanks for watching. I am Gimba Umar.
Another association, non-contenders. Oh, well, I'm Neo Taigwe. Thank you for watching.
Non-contestants.
Okay, non-contestants.
That ANC concept is certainly an interesting one, Nyota. I'm Ajuri Ngalale. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
The views and opinions expressed by guests on this program are those of the maker and do not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, and endorsement of Channels Television.